In this video, we're looking at spaces in Playtest Parlor. Spaces are areas on the table that control where pieces belong, how they arrange themselves, who can use them, and what can happen when pieces enter or leave. There are 4 shapes: box, orb, hex, and point. Right-click a space and you'll see Edit Space and Copy Space. Open Edit Space and you'll get the same 6 tabs on every shape: Properties, Layout, Auto, Access, Classification, and Trigger. Therefore, I'll use one space for the rest of the tutorial. Starting with properties, this is where you define the space itself. You can give it a name, lock it in place, add tags if you want sequences or triggers to identify it, and under appearance, you can change the shape, show or hide its boundaries, choose the fill color and opacity, and decide whether the label is shown. The label uses as a space name and has its own color settings too. Finally, size and orientation let you resize and rotate the space. Moving on to layout, this controls what happens to pieces once they enter the space. This is the section with the most options, so I'll go through each mode once. Stack places pieces on top of one another. Overlay lets multiple pieces share the same area without forming a stack. Grid arranges pieces into a grid and has additional options such as sort order, which controls how new pieces are inserted. Append, prepend, random, or as inserted. Overflow controls what happens when the layout runs out of room. It can either compress, reject, overlay, or stack. Gaps set the spacing between pieces in millimeters. Rows and columns use the same basic idea, but in one direction. They also add alignment, so the row or column can sit at the start, center, or end of the space. Fans spread pieces so part of each one remains visible. And the peak amount controls how much of the underlying piece you can see. And fan direction decides whether the fan opens left, right, up, or down. Scatter places pieces around the space rather than into a fixed pattern, and you can set the overflow behavior here too. And you can enable limit scatter to keep each dropped piece within a chosen radius or where it lands. The space boundaries still apply. And ad hoc removes the automatic layout rules and lets pieces stay where you place them. You can also enable flick, which lets pieces be launched across the space. The collision mode controls what happens when a flick piece hits another. Pass-through ignores the collision. Block stops the piece on contact. Transfers passes the movement into the piece it hits, and deflect changes direction on impact while nudging the other piece. Next is auto. These are placement rules that run automatically when a piece enters the space. Capacity can be infinite or limited, and if it's limited, you can set the maximum number of pieces allowed. Rotate on placement can keep the piece's current rotation or rotate it to fit in the space. And tile facing replacement controls whether a tile keeps its current face, is forced face up, or forced face down. Moving on to access, this is where you control who can use the space. You can choose all players, specific seats, or adjacent players. With specific seats, you can toggle exactly which seats have access, and for everyone else, others can see controls whether they can see occupancy, nothing, or everything. You can also toggle show ownership indicators, which adds markers for the seats that own the space. Adjacent players resolves access from player adjacency. The same visibility and ownership options still apply. Next is classification. This controls what is allowed into the space. You can require tile size and shape to match, limit the accepted entity types, restrict token kinds, allow all block tags, and restrict by color. Leave those filters empty, and the space accepts everything by default. Finally, triggers. This lets the space react when pieces move in or out of the space. I won't go deeper here because triggers and sequences have their own tutorial coming up. And that's spaces. Once you understand layout, auto, access, and classification, you can use a space as anything from a simple snap point to a private play area, a managed card row, a scoring zone, or a trigger for automation. For more tutorials, check out the Playtest Parlor YouTube channel or the documents linked below. I'm Kenny, and I'll see you in the next one.